Hello? Anybody else showing up? Somebody in the stream. Well, I reached a milestone at 101 subscribers today. That's good news. Okay, Knobs. Now, let's see. Where do we begin? Dragons been in mythology and legends since Greek mythology, in the Bible, and all that in Roman. And it's okay. The stories of dragons and all that stuff is all over the world, from Asian, Africa, European, North and South America. And there's thanks knobs and excuse me. Hey Sling. Uh, Now, let's start off in the dragons. They come in different types, mostly serpent. Some are described as like snake-like and lizard, with some with long necks and humpbacks and things like that. And there's something that kind of reminds me of the sea serpents that describe as water dragons in European legends and lore. What they were describing them sounds more like what we call Nessie today of Loch Ness monster fame. Maybe we that's what I've been studying on the dragons about the water serpents that they called dragons back then. Around the old Viking time. One of the water serpents was Norse called yeah, it's uh, what was the name of that dragon? That Fafnir is a famous one, and Ragnarok is look like it's probably another one of those Norse dragon type creature. In in Chinese cultures, you have the Azure dragon, that's dragon of the east and spring season. The Dragon King, which is the water or and weather god. Gongon is the destructive water god or monster. An yellow dragon is the center of the Chinese mythology. And for I can't pronounce it. It starts with an F. It's a volcano element and god of crafting. Most of the dragons that we heard of, like the behemoth, the Arabian dragons, and some of the Babylonian dragons. Some of them were mentioned in the book in the Bible. In India, they call Nagas as dragons. And then you have the Leviathan in the Levantine time period. Then I'll go to the European dragons. You have the Drac or Draco, which in Albanian Romania is Draco means a serpent one or the devil or Satan himself, which leads to the Count Vlad, the Impaler. He's have the Draco symbols on his shield. In English, we have the Wyvern, the Worm, the Fey Dragon, which is worked in that's a Jabberwocky in Alice in Wonderland. Long Written Dragon, Wormhill Dragon, and Nulkers and St. Leonard's Forest Dragons. In German and Iceland and Scandinavian countries, Limworm or Nighug dragons. Hey, Freaky. Hey, Matt. In Greek mythology, we have the Hydra, the Ladon, the Python, and the Typhon. And as we go through the for the legends, we go to the Uther Pendragon.
Crap, my mic was off the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, brother.
That's okay.
Sorry, I was going off on a spew for you. I was saying there's also like the Basculus, which is not a dragon technically, but it's a part of still a great serpent class.
Yeah.
Then there's the Australian Yamanga, which is like a sea serpent that used to come up on shore and like terrorize the Aborigine tribes until they all joined together to kill it.
Freaky. Yeah.
What's up, Freaky?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that in India, they label the Nagas as a serpent part of the dragon type deal.
Yes, sir.
I think that in some of the legends, like shapeshifters, the Naga is kind of like a shapeshifter. Kind of.
Yes and no. Technically, technically through all like dragon mythos,
Mhm.
all dragons are able to shapeshift. Like European dragon lore. Dragons were able to lure knights into traps and everything by disguising themselves as a maiden that needs help or whatever. And she ends up luring them into a cave, and she disappears into a shadow, and here comes a dragon.
Mhm.
It just depends, brother.
It depends. Yeah, that depends.
Yeah.
Some of the famous legends of the back then was like the Beowulf and
Mm-hmm.
from last week, the Arthurian legends,
Yeah.
like his father and Merlin, and they
Mm-hmm.
talk about the dragons back then.
Yeah.
And
Sling Blade. A lot of the Chinese dragon folklore comes from water spirits and also past generals and kings, like emperors and stuff. That, but a lot of them uses them as like elemental guardians now instead of what used to be.
they do have one. They do have one that they consider as a destructive dragon.
Yeah,
As
isn't
one
is
element.
that's supposed to be like the first emperor of China's like spirit dragon, isn't it?
That one, I'm not sure. We have to look further on that one to make sure.
Yeah. Because I know supposedly the folklore and everything, when the first emperor of China died, supposedly a gigantic dragon like blocked out the sun for like a month. And they were trying to say, oh, it was, the dragon of destruction, or I forgot what the name of it's called, but it was supposed to be like the first emperor of China's spirit dragon.
No, freaky. They're Godzilla is like
It's called a kaiju.
kaiju, but
Yeah.
they're Japanese.
Yeah, and no, it's not a dragon. It's a it's literally kaijus or anything that is monstrous in form. That's what the term kaiju means.
But Godzilla does have some element of a dragon,
Yeah, yeah.
fire breathing and all that.
Oh yeah.
um, I don't get the HBO, so I haven't seen any episodes of Game of Thrones.
Mm.
So, another legend is that George and the Dragon, the St. George the Knight that went to slay the dragon,
Yeah.
rescued the maiden.
Freaky. The thing of ravens or crows that blocked out the sun. The Chinese changed the story because they didn't want the mythos of saying that the first emperor of China was evil. So they kind of changed it out, saying that it was it was a sad omen because they consider crows and ravens as a form of sadness. Sorry, Spit. I'm just trying to help you, brother.
Yeah. I was reading along the European ones.
Mm.
Yeah. Before time, they had a list of where did I? Because each time period, the dragon form have changed through the legends. Can't remember, but before Beirut, that's part of the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Time period, the Greek myths dragons were different than the Middle Ages dragons.
Oh yeah.
So the Middle Ages dragon, they started out like fire breathing, bat like wings, lizard like body. Beowulf were like Draca worm.
Yeah.
And some of the other dragons were venomous bite, poisonous breath, snake like form.
Yep.
And also had they found a carbon of Scandinavian carbon Ramson.
Yeah.
Viking Age. It's reading around 1030 Old Norse. Vosen saga about the hero Sigurd of a fight the dragon Fafnir, which is long body, ringless snake.
Yeah. And it had like a poisonous breath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of the dragons in the Middle Ages were live in layers under in caves and underground and or live in rivers.
Yep.
Or in castle basements or cellars or whatever, or kind of
yeah. Supposedly there's a famous Irish tale of the three dragon sisters, and what's her Debran, Farba, and Cathatch or Cahatch or something like that. And supposedly, like, this was a true event. Like, you can still supposedly three brothers went and killed Cahatch's other two sisters and sent Cahatch on like a mad rampage. But the Irish described this dragon as a long, two-legged, monstrous mouth creature. Its body was as hot as 1,000 hails. It had metal claws that whenever it walked, it would create sparks if its claws like touched rocks or anything like that. And its tail had like a whale-like tail, and it had these spikes coming out of its tail. And whenever it drug on the ground, it could create like clouds. and supposedly she went into a rampage when her two sister dragons died and went and destroyed Scattery Islands. You may want to look that up, Spitfire, because supposedly the church is still there, and you can see like the drag marks of the tail that destroyed the church. And like you can see the drag marks of the claws from the tail, like through the masonry work.
Yeah. Okay, I found before the Beowulf.
Yeah.
Epic of Gilgamesh.
Yeah, that's a good read.
And then the Apollonius of Rhodes, which is the dragon that guards the golden fleece.
Yeah.
And then there's a Bibliotheca, the sea monster that Perseus slays.
Oh, yeah.
Andromeda. That's it. One that I forgot all about.
Mm-hmm. Man, it's been a while since I heard that name.
Yeah. Then there's the John of Patmos, or whatever, a book of Revelation. As Satan comes back as a dragon.
Yeah.
For the Great War.
Yeah, the almighty serpent or whatever they call it. Well, there's also in the Bible, what's his name?
Job.
No.
They list
David.
Yeah, but they also list a book of Job with the Leviathan.
Yeah. But David, he went to where did he go? He went to Babylonia, and they were worshiping a dragon-like creature, and they named it Marmaduke. Not Marmaduke.
I have it written down here somewhere.
Yeah.
There's Abju, Marduk, ruler of the gods.
Yeah, he went, and supposedly the description of Marduk was he dwelled in the desert, and he looked like a brontosaurus, because there's a temple in Babylonia that shows a depiction of Marduk, and he looks like a brontosaurus more than he does a dragon. He's got the long neck, humpback, and 4 legs, but a massive tail.
Mm-hmm. Let's go answer Sling's question.
Oh, yeah, what?
If we could find proof if Nessie is real and the other lake monsters, since they're described as the sea serpents of the old days, back before 1000 AD.
Yeah.
And if they're real, then we may have found a dragon.
Yeah.
But it may not be a dragon.
Supposedly there is a place in China that's called the Den of Dragons. And a lot. I mean, still to this day, for thousands and thousands of years, medicine men have went there and dug up dragon bones and used them in all sorts of medication and everything. Even the first emperor of China had a massive dragon skull that was demolished. Well, it wasn't. It was carved into a chariot for him, and the bones from that skull was also used in the medicine of his alchemist that was supposed to make him, that was supposed to be the immortality drug for him. But they mixed it with mercury and that killed him. But that's a different story. But supposedly this this dragon skull chariot is buried in the first emperor of China's tomb. And we don't know. We don't know if it's a dragon skull or a T-Rex skull because we can't get in there. The Chinese government won't let us.
That's a good question. People think that the dragons could be also dinosaurs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, well, some experts think that too. So,
yeah. Well, you did the research. You probably did the research already on the Blackfoot Mountain and the Blackfoot Hills here in the States. It's called Sallysaurus, but it was a dragon-like skull. It had 3 or 4 horns coming out the back end of the skull. It had a full upper jaw, bottom jaw, and when they opened up the jaw, there was a flap in the upper part of its jaw that they believe could spit fire or poison or something. And the Smithsonian has it right now, and the man that found it sold it to the Smithsonian for like $15 million, and nothing's came out about it from the Smithsonian like usual.
here's some more of the description of some of the dragons that I found up with.
Yeah.
Huge fire-breathing, evil, scaly and horned lizard-like creature with rings,
Right.
2 or 4 legs, and long muscular tails.
Yeah.
1 or more crests of ivory mane that down their backs like spikes.
Yeah.
And various exotic colors. And that the blood of the dragon have magical power too, like healing and things like that, or poison, depends which type of dragon it is.
Right. Yeah. They always most of the dragon reports, throughout legends and stuff like that, they never really said anything about fire. That was more of like
that began in the medieval ages when they started fire breathing.
Yeah, all the other like older legends and stuff, they said that they would produce a toxic breath, like poisonous or something like that you could not breathe. And it just changed around.
I think they said that one of the dinosaur species to have toxic breath or something like that.
Yeah, the Dilophosaurus, the spitter or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then as time goes on, the
Mhm.
dragon keeps changing and changing.
Yeah.
There's like two dragons in the King Arthur myth.
Yeah, the white one and the
White
red
one
one.
and red one. Yeah.
Yeah.
One the white ones is the Anglo-Saxon and the red
Mhm.
is the King Arthur.
Right. Yeah, it supposedly through folklore and everything, people literally saw these two dragons fighting in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And Merlin watched them fight and saw the white dragon be killed by the red dragon, and and that's how he determined who he was going to go and help.
Yeah.
A sling blade. Yeah. Well, supposedly, I mean, fire was an amazing tool. Fire can burn everything. Is an all-consuming thing. And like what Spitfire was talking about, like during the actual medieval period, like the Renaissance and stuff like that, fire became more notably and put with Satan and stuff like that. So anything that's lizard like or whatever was accounted to Satan, which means dragons, stuff like that. And
Serpent, snake,
yeah,
everything like that.
right. So it kind of went from it wasn't really acid that a lot of them spit. It was more of a poisonous gas, kind of like how sulfur fumes can kill you. I mean, it could have been just them breathing. They could have done fire back then, but most people probably just died from the sulfuric breath. So, and not even seen the fire. What do you think, Spit?
There, that's question of what kind of how the legends changed throughout time.
Yeah.
So before that, it's probably poisonous gas.
Yeah.
Then later on, it changed to fire, but sometimes poisonous gas can burn
Yeah.
skin
Yeah.
and all that. So maybe that's probably where they think of fire breathing, but not really fire.
Right. Would Freaky the surname Pendragon did there wasn't at that time period there was no surnames or anything. It if you look at the other accounts of Arthurian legends, nobody had a surname. Nobody had an actual last name. They just had first names and that was it. If you only had a last name or a surname at that time, if your family was a king or something like that. Anybody else just had whatever. And Pendragon, because King Arthur's father was a young noble. He wasn't a king, he wasn't anything. And that's how Arthur came around, is because King Arthur's dad slept with another woman to make King Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he got the name Pendragon.
And he also, in the tale of life of Elfham, dragon defeated by Elfham and Arthur.
Yeah.
So that's probably where some of the Pendragon come from.
Yeah.
Slaying of dragons.
Yep.
And then I think Sir Gawain and the Green Knight is another Arthur type tale. I think Gawain was a Knight of the Round Table.
Yeah, after King Arthur lost and died, and like the other knights went to go try to make a name for themselves. Hi, Larissa.
Hi, Larissa. Yeah. Then we get into the early modern period.
Mm-hmm.
After the medieval period, they had stories like the Edmund Spenser's the Fairy Queen. About a dragon story in that. And that's, they're starting getting into the fairy tale type dragons.
Yeah.
And then it goes into the 19th century, where we get the famous dragons coming in, like the Grimm brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Since they wrote down all the tales of all those fairy tales that we get today.
Yeah.
But they're more darker than what Walt Disney gives us.
Yeah, like Pete's Dragon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't hiss at me, cat. Get off. Thank you. Sorry.
And then another author at that time got inspired to write a dragon type creature was Lewis Carroll, Through the Looking Glass.
Yeah.
The Jabberwocky. That one I don't think it spit fire or anything like that. So
supposedly it was kind of like a take on a dragon and the Basilisk. Like it had hypnotic gaze, and
it sounds like more of the Beowulf type tale with Grendel. Hypnotic. Right. And then the 20th century, which is the 1900s, we got L. Frank Baum's Bronze all series. And then we get all these different type of dragons exploding in books and in
tabletop
media.
Games.
And the most famous one right now is the J.R.R. Tolkien, The
Yeah.
Hobbit with Smaug.
If well, if yeah, Smog is more of the medieval night period type
Mm,
dragons. Same thing with like D&D and everything.
yeah,
Uh, they go on a whole entire different, you know, thing about it, like 5 million different types of dragons.
yeah. And then we have more into like um C.S. Lewis, um the the Chronicles of Narnia series with the voice of the Dawn Trader, had a
Yeah.
dragon in it, and then you have like the
Be right
Death
back, Spit.
and the Death series by Pierce Anthony. They had the Gap Dragon, which was named as Stanley Steamer later, and then found a mate called Stella Steamer. They be, they became friendly dragons, and they will protect the land of death. It's almost like the Chinese dragons right there. Now, if anybody ever know the dragons, and then the Michael Ende book, which is Sling Blade's probably favorite movies back in the days, the never ending story, Falcor. And that one is not even a fire breathing dragon either. I think that's more of a type of a Chinese type dragon. It's now the and ever since the 1950s and 60s, more and more dragons are being written about. Like Anne McCaffrey's The Dragon Riders of Pern. It's a good
Yeah, I
one.
remember that.
I read one of the books, and it brought a new type of interest in dragons into the storytelling. And then we have somebody in the 2000 wrote a similar book series called Aragon, which they made a movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't a fan of that one.
I think it was kind of like a still an idea from Anne McCaffrey.
Oh yeah, yeah. It A lot of it was stolen from her.
Yeah. I heard they was going to make a Dragon of Perm or Dragon Riders of Perm movies and that,
Really?
which they never got to. So
That would have been good though.
yeah, I think that last I heard they were shopping around probably as a TV series
Yeah.
like to HBO Max, something
Right.
like that, through like the Game of Thrones was.
Yeah.
So we all are Sling. We all are. They sure do make the dragons interesting in in things. We have some friendly dragons along the way, like Puff the Magic Dragon.
Right.
They made a movie out of that song. I saw
Oh
it
yeah.
as a kid.
I
I think that was back in the 70s when they made that cartoon. They
yeah,
don't
something
do it
like that.
anymore. That's sad. I saw the first Pete's Dragon, Elliot.
Yeah.
I love that movie. It it kind of so that there is balance with these different books and that because
Right.
we always hear about dragons are evil,
Yeah.
greedy, and all that, and then we have Falcor, Puff, the Magic Dragon, Elliot, the Dragon Riders Perm, Aragon stories,
Mm-hmm.
where there are good dragons. So, and the first battle between good and evil dragon was our third tale between the white dragon and the red dragon. The red dragon is the good, which is the King Arthur family. Where when the red dragon wins, it would be a win over the Anglo Saxons of the time. So there is a lot of nice counterbalance between good and evil. It's like my character Spitfire the Dragon in the book I wrote. It's a good dragon. He battles a evil dragon called Fire Sprayer. So there's good versus evil. We always think of there's all these people on one side are evil, which they're not. So we kind of think of dragons for a long time as evil or monsters and all that.
Right. Sorry, I'm just
Yeah.
answering chat for you, brother.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to help
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Dragons. Yeah. Dracula or Vlad the Impaler
Mm-hmm.
have a crest of a dragon.
Yep.
On his flags and banners, and seals and all that. So
Yeah, supposedly his father, when Vlad came into power, like his father gave him 2 baby dragons from the Himalayas.
mhm.
So they were like Himalayan dragons.
Yeah, I think they might be more lizard type
Yeah.
deal, like the Komodo dragon type creatures in Asia, the Southeast Asia, and all that.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm thinking too. Like they never said that, because even the dragon on his crest
Mhm.
didn't have wings. It was more like a serpent like dragon.
I don't think there were actually real dragons, freaky.
Yeah.
Just the bigger of supposed dragons on the crest.
Yeah. It's just legends and folklore, freaky. Like nobody knows for certain what he had. It was just like reports, like after Vlad the Impaler like lost his castle and everything. It was reports of the servants that worked at the castle. Supposedly, they saw creatures of unexplainable whatever down in the dungeon.
And also the history of what that did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
Pale pale to his enemies and all that,
yeah.
or stick a spike through someone's head because they refused to take off their headgear to
Yep.
greet. Things like that.
Yeah. It's just.
That's why he was called
Vlad the Impaler.
Vlad the Impaler because he liked to see blood.
Yep.
Hi, Buddha.
Hey, Buddha. How you doing, sis?
You know what short
What?
word for Dracula is?
Yeah. Dracul, which is like king of dragons or something like that, or
Yeah, Queen of Dragons or King of Serpents,
yeah.
which Draco is another word for Satan.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I just, like the whole entire vampire tale of him,
yeah,
it is because of his lust of blood, but he only
yeah,
did that to make his enemies fear him. It wasn't like,
yeah, drinking their blood or something like that.
yeah, like he walked out and there was like hundreds of people impaled, and one of the fresh ones was there when the commanding general came up to him. He had a wine glass and he filled it up with the fresh dripping blood and said, "I'm not going to bow to you, and I will bathe in the blood of all your soldiers and including you," and drank the blood from the wine glass. He only did that one time.
Yeah, but the tale's been spread throughout that country after he lost.
Oh yeah.
It changed
Yeah.
over time, which Bram picked it up and wrote come up with Count Dracula.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, the tails change throughout the years since.
Just like dragons.
Yeah, dragons. All the
Mm.
tails change throughout time, especially Beowulf tail
Oh yeah.
change. Especially it was changed during translation from Germanic language or Norse language to
Mhm.
English.
Hmm.
They also we also have some North American dragons too.
Yeah.
The Aztecs and the Incas have some. If
We
I'm,
also used to have a I'll let you tell about the Aztecs and everything, and I'll let you know about a Cherokee dragon.
Tombstone dragon. Hmm. That one I have to look up. Sling.
Mm,
Or did
I
I?
don't know. No, I haven't heard about it, but it doesn't mean it's not out there.
Yeah. Okay. The Piasa bird, horned serpent, are two of the Native American ones. Aztec is Q. The Quetzalcoatl. I can't pronounce these
Oh,
names.
Quasicoda, or however you say
Yeah,
it.
they made a movie back in the 80s of it called Q for
Yeah.
short. Um, After the
Oh, I know what you're talking about, Sling Blade.
no, no, Frankie, they're different. That's a different creature.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a dragon at all.
Bling, I think the that could be more towards the Thunderbird area
Yeah.
than a dragon.
Yeah, it's it's a Thunderbird. Um it's a part of the Thunderbird class.
The Thunderbird myth folklore class thing.
Yeah.
They sure through all these.
Yeah. It
Yeah, yeah. The dragons are more like
scale.
the scale, like the some of the old of the land dinosaurs than
Yeah.
the flying ones, and
More
some of
more
them
like
are
Well,
and
more
some of
like
them are,
boa constrictor skin, like you know, like the constrictor type snake
yeah,
skin.
yeah, or water serpents.
Yeah.
They made they've been made a lot of movies and TV shows with dragons
Mm-hmm.
throughout these years too.
Oh yeah.
They even made a special on, I think, National Geographic about if the dragons were real.
Mm-hmm.
So it's they they made movies out of the Dungeons and Dragons game, 3 of them. All 3 had dragons in it, of course.
Yeah.
And then the Dragonheart movies. That's those are kind of good movies too.
See what they're talking about. What they're talking about is the the tombstone lizard, the pterodactyl like creature that Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders went down to Mexico and killed one and supposedly brought it back, and somewhere when they were showing it off into each small little town and everything, it got lost between Tombstone and El Paso, Texas, and there's supposedly pieces of it floating around. But yeah, it's not a dragon. It's more of a pterodactyl that was found in South America and was supposed to be brought back, but lost. If that helps y'all any.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sling bro. Sorry, Spitfire brother.
Yeah. I, what the, they some of the things that dragons that they do have in kaiju
Mm-hmm.
is enemies like against Godzilla and Mothra
Yeah.
had dragons. So there's those Japanese dragons that we were talking about earlier. So
Mm-hmm.
and even Power Rangers have a dragon in one of the series that they had.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
it's and one of the droids that they used to fight the bad guys
Uh-huh.
was a dragon.
Oh yeah. Wow, that takes me back.
Yeah, whole lot of
Yeah, like in Godzilla, what was it called? King Ghidorah? It was
yeah
like a
Hydra. They were like hydras.
yeah. Like you could cut off one of its head and it would like grow back or something like that, right?
Yeah, and it was be replaced by 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
It cut it
Yeah.
off. More heads grow.
Yeah. Like, nah, I'm good. I'm good with that.
Even Star Wars have some dragons in it.
Yeah, freaky. The three-headed King Ghidorah or whatever it was called. Like it flew, but it just had two legs. Like it had no arms, nothing like
Hi,
that.
Jane.
Hey, Jane.
And
But what were you going to say, Spitfire?
I was saying that Star Wars have dragons in it too.
Oh yeah.
Think it. Well, it's it's in the fourth chapter, A New Hope.
Yes. Yeah. Well, technically,
From what I understand, people like George Lucas and all these authors and movie directors and that
yeah.
use accept or get inspired by legends, folk tales, things like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like the Ewoks,
Hmm.
they're like almost like teddy bears and dogs combined mixed together.
Yeah. Then, Chewbacca,
Yeah,
Bigfoot.
yeah, Chewbacca, Bigfoot.
Yeah.
and and his nephew in the Academy series, Lubaka.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Even Ewoks had had a dragon in their adventure TV adventure movie.
Yeah, they
The Battle
did.
of Endor.
Mm-hmm. They talked about what was it, a force dragon or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you had Willow. You have another Hydra in that one,
Yep. Yeah.
and of course, Willow starred by Warwick Davis, who was in the Star Wars movie, the sixth one, as an Ewok.
Oh yeah.
And they were brought back to the last Star Wars movie.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, supposedly the thing, that worm-like creature that ate the Millennium Falcon
mhm.
and they had to escape. Like, supposedly in their universe, that was a dragon also.
Mhm.
But I, from the look of it, it didn't look like a dragon to me. It looked like
No,
a
yeah,
But I mean, I guess you can say, well, what about the serpent dragons?
the,
Like,
there's there are dragons called the Worm,
mm-hmm.
WYRM, or
Yeah,
sometimes spelled WORM.
right.
So if you look at those type of movies, Dune,
Yeah,
those giant worm-like creature could be considered a dragon,
true.
or another cryptid that we
Mm-hmm.
hear about in Mongolia.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I
They're supposed
already
to spit.
know.
They're supposed to spit acid and electricity.
Yeah, that is true.
That almost sounds like a dragon.
Yeah.
type being from all the folklores and that.
Well, supposedly there's one. There's a massive one in Mongolia,
Mhm.
and it's like 13 to 15 foot long.
Yeah. They the Animal Planet had a show called The Lost Tapes.
Yeah.
They did cryptids.
Really?
Yeah, it's they have of what we know today. They did one on the Mongolia death worm.
Right. Yeah.
They also had one on the coat Q whatever.
Yeah. Kezaquala.
Yeah,
Kezaquata. Whatever.
yeah,
Keza
whatever.
something.
They
That thing.
also have one on giant lizards.
Yeah. Well, I
I
mean,
think that they're meant that to be like a dragon,
mm-hmm.
that poisonous bite.
Yeah.
Probably a giant lizard, so which is more of a one of those old dragon type
Yeah.
that that poisonous bite or poisonous gas,
Yeah.
things like that. That
Um,
I don't think they is showing that show anymore.
mm-hmm.
Repeats,
Yeah.
but it covered almost everything encrypted, like reptilian or the lizard man and vampire, you name it.
Huh.
The Jersey Devil.
Oh. Oh, don't get me started on that thing.
Yeah, and the Beast of Bray Road,
Yeah.
you name it. Goat Man and Pig Man and you name it.
See, the only thing that gets me about like those cryptid shows and everything,
Yeah,
they go to an area that was supposedly like last seen like 20 years ago.
yeah,
And then they only stay there for like 3 days. And they don't even actually go into the place to find out what's going on. Like they make a little base camp and set up stuff. I'm like, get out there and hunt it.
Some of these people that were in these shows
Mm-hmm.
aren't looking for them.
Yeah.
Like the Mongolia Death Worm one.
Mm-hmm.
It's two guys racing on ATVs in a uh, endurance race
Yeah.
across the desert, and they have to hit mile markers. So
Wow.
they ran into them
Huh.
Mongolian death worms.
Okay, so it was like experiences.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
they had like it's almost like the Blair Witch Project movie,
Yeah.
and they have the cameras recording each other and all that. All
Oh,
they
okay.
all that they could find of the racers was their ATVs and the cameras,
Huh.
and no sign of the bodies.
Huh. It could have been
Like,
that massive one.
yeah, like the ones that the first victim
Yeah.
got bit or something like that, or stung, or got spit with acid.
Right.
got weaker and weaker toward the end. He told his friend go since he was not affected.
Right.
So his friend took off running to get help, and he fell off. And you just show the camera, and so he was being pulled
Really?
outside, feet first,
Huh.
and he was yelling for help. And his friend came back, and all of a sudden you see underneath the sand movement, and his friend was screaming underneath the sand,
Huh.
and he was
Well,
trying to find him, and then boom.
so
He
it
got hit.
attacks like a sand lion.
Yeah, kind of like that. But if it's bigger than a human, it could probably. It's supposed to take down camels.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's getting bigger then, because last time I did any research on it, it was said it was supposed to be between like 13 to 15 foot long. And I was like, well, I mean, that could eat, a small child, but.
Yeah, but now that they're saying that they could take down camels.
That would make it. Ooh. That'd make it at least 30, 35 foot long.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have to be able to extend its mouth bigger than the prey.
Mm-hmm.
And camels are huge. So.
Yeah. And the humans are not that.
Right.
Especially grown men are not that big.
Yeah, we're very thin. So
yeah, I think that's freaky. I think that's where the Tremors got their inspiration from. The Mongolian
I don't know what
worms.
Tremors are.
You haven't seen the other movies?
No, I haven't seen Tremors.
Yeah, they go underground and all that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just like the Mongolian death worms.
Okay,
and later movies, they were spitting acid and all that.
Huh. So, like a Mongolian death worm with a different name.
Yeah. Of course, they have one called ass blasters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. they're kind of like a newborn.
Yeah.
But they run up fart and fire out their behind.
That's great. That's great. Oh, I want one of those as a pet.
Yeah. Yeah, graboids is the worm. The albino can't change after eating. Really? It don't have the albino graboid can't change. It's almost like the gremlin. And
really?
Gizmo.
Yeah.
He can't change like the others. So there's been a lot of inspiration in these tales. Sometimes you bring in tales from different tales to form a new species.
Hey, Spit, I'm gonna have to get off here. My lights are flickering. My power is like flickering on and off. Okay. So I'll be on my phone. I'll be on my phone, and I'll talk with you on there, brother.
Okay.
Hey, it was great talking with you, bro. I can't
Okay.
wait to do this again.
Okay. See you.
Take care, brother. Love you.
You too. Yeah. The other things that we see with dragons in these is that, yeah, Sling, they're supposed to have storms over there. And instead of the books and TVs and movies, there's games that they have dragons. You have Dragon Warrior. Um, what else did they have? Ah, no, I lost the game. So yeah, um, World of Warcraft have dragons and Legend of Zelda, you name it. There's lots of dragons everywhere. Uh, Usually the dragons are, when they do these stories and that in the games, they get inspiration from what came before. Like like the ancient, like the Greek and the Bible and the Roman. Yeah, they do get a lot of bad raps, but not in all the movies. Like Aragon or Puff the Magic Dragon or Elliot from Peach Dragon or Falcor. Okay, so there's storms in Texas, huh? Yeah, but the yeah with the dragons in movies and books and all that, the they do get a bad rap, but we do have some that balance the power where where the dragons do are friendly. We even have some a puppet from Cuckoo Friend and Ollie is a dragon. And then you have a cartoon back in the 90s called Scorch is a dragon. We so it is kind of balancing power of dragons we have in literature and all that. One of the fairy tales shape-shifted one is Maleficent. Have you seen the movie Maleficent? She is a witch that can turn herself into a dragon. That's a tale that is an inspiration. You know what I forgot to mention last week? Grendel's mother was a witch, and she was considered a water dragon type creature, or somebody that was cursed, which we got Grendel. Grendel was a cross between a human and a beast. So we do in some of the newer literature we have hmm and there's 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 a book by Paris Anthony series called Face series, Phazee. At the last book, because in the book, this one guy could travel between the two worlds. And the last book, Phase and Flux, the two worlds combined, and then you have a big robot mixed with a dragon from the other world. They were combined, merged into one. Then you have another robots and harpies combined. It was weird. Welcome back, Freaky. Those those kind of book series is kind of interesting to read. Of course, some of them may not be made into movies and all that. And of course, not everything can be made into movies or TV shows. Does anybody else have a question? Yeah, that's true, Freaky. I even thought the Lord of the Rings wasn't good. They left some characters out. There was more than 4 hobbits that went on the journey. And they left 2 of them out. Anybody have a question about dragons? Oh, you're welcome, Larissa. Okay. What topic should we do next week? Should we do werewolves next week? Yeah, Hunter does. Maybe we could do the Vlad the Impaler with the Count Dracula mythology lore and legend. Will get a mix of history and the tales. Does that sound good? Hi, Elizabeth. Okay. Next week it will be Vlad the Impaler and the Count Dracula. Yep. And it could be spun into where Count Dracula comes in, especially when he shows up on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Well, I guess I call this the end of this week's topic on dragons. We covered every aspect of the dragon, from the water serpent dragon to snake-like dragons to some flying dragons. Well, I'll see you guys next week, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, for Vlad the Impaler and Count Dracula. Thank you, Sling. Take care, everybody.